What's going on, you guys? Nicholas Moy here, and in this video, we are going to be talking about a new release or an update regarding Anthropic's new model called Claude Mythos. Now, you may not have heard of Claude Mythos. This is a new model that is coming out that has not been officially released or announced out to the public just yet. There was a leak the past couple of days in some marketing material or some PR material that is soon to be announced out to the public to basically unleash this new model and allow people to begin to use it. There's not a lot of certainty as to what the pricing is or any of that stuff, but the capabilities I find very interesting, and I think you will find them very interesting too. Now, this is my first time looking into this. I started digging into this today and I said, holy crap, we need to talk about this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's go ahead and dive into it. Okay, so this is what we have here. This is coming from wavespeed.ai's blog, where they are talking about Claude Mythos, otherwise known as Opus 5. That's what the internet is calling it. Now, again, all of this right here is confirmed by Anthropic. This is a press release, or I should say, this is leaked material that has not been officially announced yet and released out to the public, but the leaked material, nothing sensitive, but maybe premature, right? This was PR material that was being stored inside of a storage bucket out in their cloud, and they forgot to set it to private. So some security researcher ended up finding it online and started to announce it, and then notified Anthropic and said, hey, by the way, your bucket is set to public. And so all of this material has been validated and confirmed by Anthropic, but again, not accessible to us just yet. And this article is going to kind of dig into that. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So Anthropic's most powerful AI model yet has been revealed, not through a launch event, but through a data leak. Internal documents describing Claude Mythos' internal code name Capybara were exposed after a configuration error in Anthropic's content management system left nearly 3,000 files publicly accessible without authentication. Here's what we know, what's still unconfirmed, and why it matters. So in late March 2026, again, that was this week, researchers discovered that a misconfigured data store on Anthropic's infrastructure was exposing internal documents, draft blog posts, PDFs, images, internal memos, blah, 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 out to the public internet. Anthropic quickly locked it down after being notified, but not before the documents spread across the security forums and social media. Anthropic has since confirmed that the leak is real. A spokesperson acknowledged that the company has completed training on the model, Claude Mythos, that's the name of it, and is trialing it with early access customers, calling it a step change in AI performance and the most capable we have built to date. Sounds very interesting, very interesting. What is Claude Mythos? Okay, according to the leaked documents, Claude Mythos sits above the current Opus tier, which right now we're in Opus 4, the new class of model entirely, not just another version bump. So this isn't like a 4.3, 4.4, nothing like that. This is version 5, so complete new tier altogether. While the internet has been calling it Opus 5, the internal positioning suggests that Mythos is something completely different. It's a complete higher tier. The key claims from the leaked material are as follows. Coding and reasoning. Mythos reportedly delivers major performance gains over Claude Opus 4.6 across coding benchmarks and academic reasoning tasks. Given that Opus 4.6 already leads on the SWE software engineering bench, verified right around 80.8% in Terminal Bench 2.0, and humanities last exam, the implication is that Mythos pushes these numbers significantly higher. Very interesting. And the reason why this is interesting is because Claude Code, which was released, I think it was late February, very, very recently, and we're just seeing bam, 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 like back to back, Anthropic's killing it. Claude Code, but it's been around for a little bit. Okay, I don't mean to say that it just was recently dropped, but the new evolution, the new version of this thing is just amazing. It's incredible. I've been playing with it myself, built a few applications, and been having a good time. It's actually very good. This is very timely, right? Having a Opus 5 or a complete new version, a new model to begin to work off of and embed that into Claude code. It's got to be very, very good. And I am sure it's going to be just increase the capabilities of what we're trying to currently do with one-man teams developing applications and even securing that, which is interesting because it's actually digging into that next. So the next capability is the cybersecurity capabilities. This is the most alarming part of the leak. Internal documents describe Mythos as currently far ahead of any other AI model in cyber capabilities, capable of discovering and exploiting software vulnerabilities at speeds far outpace human defenders. Documents reportedly warn that Mythos presages an upcoming wave of models that can exploit vulnerabilities in ways that far outpace the efforts of defenders. A remarkably candid assessment from the company building the model. That's very interesting because my background's in software security, right? And I can definitely tell you that having models aid the defenders, and that's what they termed it here, the engineers, security engineers, using models to help us with that by, maybe running dynamic analysis scans, which is, an internal offensive scan to exploit vulnerabilities within the application post-build and write up the report so that the developers can go in there and fix it. With this capability in hand and with teams being condensed a lot smaller, really going to ramp up the firepower that one engineer can have from build to remediation to make sure that this thing is hardened and ready to go. Now, I'm not sure about monitoring or anything like that. Very interested to see how that goes, but or if there's any further information that we hear about that. But again, you can always build that into other moderation or other tools that are going to be monitoring it on a regular basis for any type of packages that become vulnerable that need to be, upgraded or swapped out or whatever. So interesting stuff. But with this in hand, and I know this isn't the first model that has done this. I know that with OpenAI's Aardvark, that is another tool that I think kind of introduced this capability. This sounds like this is going to take it to a whole new level. And so I'm very, very interested to see where this whole thing kind of goes and what's really going to happen after this is released to the public. And we've done some testing. We've had an opportunity to kind of, do some testing and see how this all plays out. But very, very interesting stuff here. So cyber capabilities way up. I do have a concern before I move on to the next thing, right? When we talk about the ability to exploit applications, that does beg the question, how will this tool be used against other applications, right, to exploit their vulnerabilities? Let's say you don't own the software that you are using this against. That's illegal, right? That would be, breaking and entering into a system, and that's not allowed. So I don't know how they plan to moderate that, make sure that people aren't using it for the wrong capabilities or the wrong use cases. So we'll have to see. I'll have to make another video on that when that comes out. So anyways, let's continue on. So cyber state sponsored exploitation, perhaps the most explosive claim. Anthropic reportedly discovered that Chinese state sponsored group had been running coordinated campaigns using Claude code to infiltrate approximately 30 organizations, including tech companies, financial institutions, and government agencies. Anthropic detected and shut down the campaign, but the incident appeared to have influenced the cautious rollout strategy for Mythos. Okay, so there we go. Exactly what I was just talking about. So hacking organizations, terrorist groups, whatever, they are using or can use these types of technologies to go and hack into financial institutions, tech companies, government agencies, maybe a competitor. I mean, what's to stop us from using that to attack a competitor, which isn't good. We shouldn't have that capability. So this is actually good. I mean, it's good that they're kind of thinking about that, which, I mean, they have to. You have to consider that. So I'm really glad that they are approaching this safely and kind of rolling this out. And they're going to have a strategy in place before they drop this out to the public. All right, market impact. The leak had immediate financial consequences concerning Concerns about AI-powered cyber threats triggered a sell-off in U.S. software and cybersecurity stocks. Ooh. The risk-off sentiment spilled into crypto markets, with Bitcoin dropping to 66,000. Japanese media reported extensively on the national security implications of the leak. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's not good. Valid. It's valid, though. What is still unconfirmed? Despite the leak and Anthropic's partial confirmation, several key questions remain. Benchmark numbers. No specific scores have been published. Claims about Mythos dominating every benchmark are based on leaked internal descriptions, not verified third-party evaluations. Okay, that's fair. Pricing and availability. There's no information about API pricing, context window size, or general availability timelines. So, okay, that's yeah. I mean, it's still early. It hasn't been released yet, right? So we don't know, but it will be. And when it is, I'll make another video and we can talk more about that. Opus 5 naming. The community has been calling it Opus 5 or Claude 5, but the leaked documents position Mythos as a new tier above Opus, not a direct successor. Interesting. Final naming is unknown. So this is going to just open up a whole new slew of capabilities. Not necessarily on the predecessor, right, of Mythos, which would be Opus 4 right now. So we'll have to see. Again, I'll make another video once we learn a little bit more. But just wanted to drop this with you guys right now, especially because you guys are learning this stuff, and it's very important that we are aware of what is going on. UI sightings. Some users report seeing Mythos 5 experimental in the Claude interface and larger and more intelligent descriptions. These could be limited A/B tests, internal testing artifacts, or fabricated screenshots. No widespread confirmation. Well, I'll tell you this: in the world of AI-generated content, you gotta definitely check your sources before you believe anything you see online. But I can say I've been using Claude a lot past couple of weeks now, and planning on rolling out a lot more content on Claude, just because it seems like it's a very exciting area to be in. They're doing a lot of work, a lot of really good work. And I think it's really going to help you if you want to build a business, if you want to build technology, if you want to you just learn how to use AI to improve your life, maybe your current work and day-to-day stuff and all that. What Claude's got going on is perfect. And I've been playing around with Grok and ChatGPT models and really like what Claude's doing. So really, really good stuff. Don't believe the UI sightings just yet. I'm sure they're locking all that stuff down, especially with this having happened. They're probably being extra cautious. But yeah, I mean, think overall, really good stuff. Really exciting stuff. All right, so Anthropic's rollout strategy. Based on the leaked documents, let's go ahead and highlight this so you guys can follow. Based on the leaked documents and Anthropic's public statements, the rollout will be deliberately cautious. Select cybersecurity partners are going to be the first to have access to this. And that's because they need to be able to test this. They need to help advise Anthropic, the company that is making this model, the one that owns Claude, really advise them on, how to do a rollout plan for something like this. Now that it's increasing capabilities, it has very good offensive and defensive capabilities that can be utilized. We need to be very cautious on how we roll this out. And so it makes sense that they're picking some high-end cybersecurity partners to help with that, using, leveraging security researchers and defenders to kind of test and advise on that. The goal here is to prepare defenses before the model's offensive capabilities become widely available. There you go. All right, staged expansion. Broader access will follow, presumably through the API and Claude Pro team and enterprise plans. And then no public launch dates. Anthropic has not committed to a timeline just yet. So I'm sure they've got a lot to work on before that thing can roll out. This approach mirrors how Anthropic handles previous releases, where safety concerns were elevated, slow, controlled, and defensive use cases are prioritized, right? This means, whether you call it Opus 5, Mythos, or Capybara, the implications are significant. For developers, a model that meaningfully surpasses Opus 4.6 in coding would be a major tool for software development, debugging, agentic workflows, etc. The question is when it becomes available and at what price, right? Cybersecurity. So how does this affect cybersecurity? The leaked documents paint a picture of an AI model that can find and exploit vulnerabilities faster than humans can patch them. If accurate, this shifts the cybersecurity landscape fundamentally. Defenders will need AI-powered tools just to keep pace, which I don't think any of us that have been working in cyber or are working towards a career in cyber are surprised. We have to. I've been saying this for a while now. Can't ignore it. It's growing too fast. The public is going to adopt the AI powers, the AI tools. We need to learn this stuff. We need to be able to utilize it. So there you go, fellas. This is it. All right. For AI safety, Anthropic publicly acknowledges that its own model poses risk for cyber defense, to cyber defense. The cautious rollout suggests the company takes its responsible scaling policy seriously, but it also raises question about whether any stage release can truly contain capabilities once they're deployed. Right. Okay. For the industry, if Mythos delivers on its claims in the leaked document, it sets a new bar for frontier AI models. Competitors will need to respond, and the cybersecurity implications will likely accelerate regulatory conversations. All right. Good stuff. And we got a little bit more here on the bottom line, but yeah, very interesting. All right, guys, that's some crazy stuff. So Opus 5, Mythos, Capybara, whatever you want to call this thing, we are seeing something that is about to be rolled out. We're getting a little bit of a sneak peek of it, and it is going to change the game for you and I as we move into technology. Now, I don't know if you're finding me for the first time. Maybe you haven't been a subscriber, and that's okay if you haven't been. I would love for you to be a subscriber because I'm making more content about this type of stuff, AI and workflows, and how to really capitalize on this opportunity. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need to do. We need to learn how can we all benefit and leverage these things, whether you are planning on building a business or you are planning on leveraging these tools for your career. I want you to begin to think about and play around with these technologies. And with this Mythos being released, it's going to completely change the game on how we approach a career in cybersecurity, which many of you know, that's my background. That's what I did. But how are we going to leverage it in the workforce or in the world if we're going to branch out onto our own and go into entrepreneurship? And I know many of you, if you've been on YouTube and you're not living under a rock, you've heard other people, far better experts than myself, say that this may be the new time for entrepreneurship. And there's been times like this before where people had to kind of branch on their own and get creative and find ways to leverage the technologies of the time so that they can take care of themselves and their families, right? This may be one of those times, right? We're seeing some really powerful tools out there. I've been playing around with them. I built a whole application within like 30 minutes, right? And I'm just thinking, wow, I could use this thing and I could sell it. Like you could totally sell this fully working application and people would benefit from it. And that's just the era that we live in, where we have new technologies at our disposal. And if we are not taking advantage of it, if we are not learning the stuff and capitalizing on it and learning how we can wield those powers for good, then we're missing out. And I don't want you to miss out. So don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this. Read it. If you guys are finding some updates on it, I want you to leave those comments down. Let me know. That way I can make some more updates, videos just like this, kind of letting you guys know what else we're finding. I'll dig my nose into it, start researching it, and we'll talk about it. So one more thing I want to let you guys know of. So there's a free community that I have down there for you in the description. Go ahead and join that. If you're into AI and technology and you're trying to figure out how to leverage this stuff for your future benefits, come and join the group. Come and join me, because that is exactly what I am doing. I am learning this technology, learning how to build with it, learning how to sell it, learning how to make money with that. And I've actually had some success with it. We've had some members that have had success with it, and I want you to have that success with it too. So come on and join the community. I'll see you guys in there.